On these islands, somewhere in the South Pacific, the greatest adventure of all time is about to begin. Savage Islands, in a strange and mysterious land. Those who are good come face to face with those who are evil. Bully Hayes and the Reverend Nate, always together through good times and bad.
Thanks.
They fight for love, for money,
6,000 gold max. And the gal.
and just for the sheer hell of it. It all happens in Savage Islands. It's the place to be.
Hello, hello. I'm Katie, and this is Retromade, your pop culture rewind. Today we're going to sail back to 1983 for Nate and Hayes, the pirate adventure you probably missed, starring a swashbuckling Tommy Lee Jones, colonial chaos, and more explosions than you'd expect from a very forgotten film. I'm very excited to have returning guest Ryan Rebalkin with me today. How's it going, Ryan?
It's wonderful to be here. Katie, thank you for having me on.
Well, thanks for coming back. You purposefully picked this movie because you hadn't heard of it, right?
That's correct. Yes. I love a challenge. I was like, I never even heard of the film. So I'm like, John Hughes is attached to this picture that I've never heard of before. Amazing. Sign me up.
Same. Yeah, I never. We'll get into it. But why don't you tell us some of your other projects?
Well, sure. I won't bore your listeners too much, as if you're listening to this already on the Director's Chair Network, which some of you are, of course, that's where I cover currently Michael Mann films. But if you're not, if you're listening to this on Katie's feed, the Retromade podcast, come check out the Director's Chair Network, where Katie's a part of right now with her John Hughes season, where I also cover just other directors. My first season was Edward Zwick and all of his films, which Katie joined me on, and Michael Mann films is the current season I'm doing, which Katie joined me on. And then next season I'm covering will be Terrence Malick, and I'm sure Katie will come on to the Terrence Malick season.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to open the time capsule from 1983, Ryan. This is one of his earliest works.
Yeah, 83, yeah. Absolutely.
And now, I usually have this wheel that we spin, but since we've already covered, let's see, 1983, we've already covered several categories because Mr. Mom came out in 1983 and also Vacation.
Oh, wow.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you some trivia questions from the categories that have not already been covered from those two movies.
Okay. Got
it?
However you want to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do with my answers, but I'll have fun playing.
You don't get to spin for your categories. I'm just going to give them to you. So this one should be probably the easiest one. It's Big Screen Time Machine.
Big Screen Time Machine, okay.
So top 5 highest grossing films in the U.S. for 1983.
Oh, boy.
I will give you clues, but
sure,
if you do you have any?
For sure. Well, I mean, it's funny because I know when you have guests come on, some of them are fantastic about this sort of stuff. And I lived this time. Like I was, 8 years old in 83, so I should have some sort of idea, but I do get a little bit lost. Did I see the movie in 83? So it was already on VHS, which means it came out in 82 or even 81. 83, of course, it was Rocky 3. So I suspect Rocky 3.
No, that was 82 in the theater.
There you go. I probably saw it in VHS in 83.
Right.
That was 82, and I've covered that film a couple times.
Yeah. Come on, Rocky nerd.
I know. So Rocky 4 then was 85. I always remember that one because I should do the same with 3 because it,
It's like
It was Rocky 4, but it came out in 85. Rocky 3 came out. Okay, I should remember. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's
83. Well, if Rocky 2 was 83. Okay, well, we have Temple of Doom. Let's see, this is horrible.
No.
I'm doing horrible.
Okay.
Help me out. Give me some clues.
You'll get this. So the first, number one, which 1983 film directed by Richard Marquand.
Okay, I don't know that name. Okay, continue.
Concluded a groundbreaking space saga and became the highest-grossing movie of that year.
Oh, Jedi?
Yeah, I didn't know he.
That was what was his name? Holy smokes! I don't know the director's name. Is that crazy?
Richard Marquand.
Whoa, Mandela effect. Isn't that weird? I know Lawrence Kasdan directed part 2 and George did part 3. Isn't that funny? In a million years, gun to my head, I would never come up with that name. Who directed
Me
Jedi?
Neither. I've never even heard. So yeah, Return of the Jedi.
Of course. Of course, yeah.
Number one.
That, and I saw it in the theaters. I was a kid and I saw it in the theater. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I remember hating the Ewoks even then. Yeah.
I feel like remember knowing about there was even like an Ewok cartoon, and
there was an
that's
Ewok
the only
cartoon,
thing I feel like I did like.
Oh no. Well, yeah, okay. Now we should genderify the things that we like and don't like. But an 8-year-old boy versus an 8-year-old girl might be a little bit different in their likes back then. Yeah.
I was 2 at this time, so I didn't anyway. So the 83 is hard for me because it seems like so long ago.
It is a long time ago. Holy smokes.
Now the next one, directed by James L. Brooks, explores the complexities of a mother-daughter relationship, won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
James L. Brooks. I know him very well. Okay. Terms of Endearment?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, all right. Okay. This next one is directed by Adrian Lynn.
Okay.
But you'll get it by the clue. Features a young woman aspiring to be a professional dancer, known for iconic, water splash dancing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's a great song, by the way. That song, it's a fun song. Yeah.
Super fun. Yeah, Flashdance. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time. I'm gonna have to give it a rewatch.
I remember how risque it felt, even as a young kid, like back then, how risque that movie seemed to feel.
That particular scene, and especially,
but nothing's really going on. Like you look at music videos nowadays or whatever, it's like nothing sauce.
Good point. Well, also in the early 80s, there was a movie about teens living in a town that they were prohibited from dancing. Because it's like the devil.
Dirty Dancing and Footloose should have had a crossover, some sort of universe crossover. Like those two worlds where one has that's all we do is grind on each other, and those students try to go to the school where there's no dancing allowed. That conflict.
They were in different decades, but that's okay. Dirty Dancing was set in the 60s.
Oh, gee. Okay, thanks, Katie Nager.
Yeah, I have to ruin it.
I know.
Okay,
fine. In this universe, we... Okay. Look at you correcting the timeline of these films. My fault. I haven't seen Footloose. Which one was early? Footloose. Which one was early? Timeline? You said one was the 60s?
Oh, Dirty Dancing was set in the 60s.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was set in the 60s.
Holy smokes! I know it came out in the 80s, but 87. I don't even remember. Is it so funny that when it came out, it must have seemed like, wow, that was so long ago, the 60s.
Yeah.
Now it's been 40 years since that film came out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
yeah,
it's like us making a film today. It's Dirty Dancing Part 3, but it's set in the 2000s.
You're like, great, super exciting.
Yeah, in sync. All right.
All right. The fourth one is a comedy directed by John Landis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Keep going. Well, 80. Well, it's not. You said 2, so it's not Ghostbusters. Was that Landis, anyways? Oh, John Landis. Boy, sorry. It's either going to be something like Beverly Hills Cop or
socioeconomic backgrounds.
Oh, Trading Places.
Become part of a bet to swap their lives.
There you go. Hey, that was pretty good. I did it before you said swap.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Number 5. Directed by John Badham, centers on a young computer whiz who unwittingly hacks into a U.S. military supercomputer.
That's such a funny movie.
I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen War Games.
It's weird. It's a fascinating thought experiment of a film, and it was so high tech back then because this is when the 80s, hacking was just almost science fiction, right? The idea of hacking was science fiction. I don't know if you ever seen Ender's Game.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I can kind of see where the two. If you've seen Ender's Game and you know War Games, you can see how the two collide. I don't want to spoil anything for either films. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, War Games. Nearly triggering World War III, I guess. You know.
Isn't that funny? We're still waiting for that. You know, I think, not to get political, World War III has been happening for 40 years, I think.
It has. Yeah. Yep. All right. You did pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, I'll do fine with, this is the thing with trivia. I'll do fine. This is perfect. I love this sort of trivia. Like, who's in the film? Let's talk about the film. But just remembering the box, like, I don't know. Yeah. It's all like a blur to me. The 80s, what came out in the 80s, like what year?
Which year was which?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next category is retro runway. So fashion.
Oh boy.
I'll try and pick some easy ones here. The first one's very easy. In 1983,
Neon.
which pop icon popularized the street urchin look?
Streeter. You'd have to tell me what that is.
Characterized by lace gloves, layered necklaces, skirts worn over leggings. Madonna.
Yeah.
Also very Cindy Lauper.
Oh, and Cyndi Lauper, of course.
Yeah,
Yes,
but-
right. They both did it. Yeah.
Yep.
Or certainly did it the longest and craziest compared to
Yeah,
Madonna.
yeah. Let's see. Which one could you get?
Fashion. Yeah.
Which former punk designer introduced the mini crinny in 1985, an abbreviated version of the Victorian crinoline influencing the puffball skirts trend of the mid 1980s?
Ralph Lauren.
It's a woman,
I have no idea. I really don't.
Vivienne Westwood.
There's no way. Yeah. I would have
okay.
died again. Gun to my head, I would have died again. That and Jedi, I would have died.
There's a few more that you would definitely not get, so we'll go on to the next category.
Well, I'm sorry. You should have had a female. I shouldn't say that, but let's be honest. Most men don't track fashion design names, I would say.
Right.
Like,
There's some
I
you would
don't have
know.
any guy. Well, there might be some. Like I
Right.
said, like Ralph Lauren or whatever one, Wahlberg, Calvin Klein. But those are men's fashions, a lot of those too. So
Yeah. Good point. Say what? Does anything come to mind? Popular sayings or catchphrases?
Oh, I see. 83. I mean, I know there was "Where's the Beef," but I don't even know if that was that early. I think it was a little bit later.
Vibrant array of slang terms and expressions,
Boy, rad.
part of the culture, iconic sayings.
Give me one.
Rad.
Did I get it? Did I say rad? I said rad.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. Yeah,
Rad.
roll back the tape.
I know I missed things. Rad, short for radical, term used to describe something cool or awesome.
Yep.
There's several. Gnarly, used by surfers.
Yeah, I thought that was later. Let's do this. You tell me the phrase, and I'll tell you if I used it and when about. So gnarly, I think that was like maybe it's stateside. It was earlier, but Canada. That was a little bit later, late 80s, early 90s. And that was the surfer culture for sure. That's gnarly, dude.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things like
Skateboarders.
because I lived in the middle of the country in the US, so it just takes longer for things probably to get to Canada and like the middle. But
but I watched all American television though, so that's what I mean. It was all American movies and television. So if it was in the films, I would have seen it. But gnarly, that's like Bill and Ted's type stuff. Right?
Or like Spicoli, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It was early 80s.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
That's
true. Like a lot of these sayings started early and then they lasted for a long time.
Maybe
like
that's what it is.
bodacious.
It's bodacious. I remember hearing that. Yes. What else we got?
Veg out, to relax,
Yeah.
do nothing.
Well, yeah, I've heard, of course. Yeah, we used to say veg. I guess that seems like one that's never gone away. All I want to do is veg all weekend. So,
but it started like the point. It's like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Prior to
that
this,
one lasted.
that wasn't.
That one's lasted. Okay.
Totally tubular.
Yes,
another
totally
surf
tubular.
culture.
Yeah.
A lot of these are like come from surf
Skateboard
culture
surfers.
or Valley Girl, like gag me with a spoon, take a chill pill.
Chill pill for sure. Oh, no, we're not allowed
What's
to
your
say that anymore, by the
damage?
way.
Oh, you're not allowed. Oh, because
It's to indicate mental health.
yeah.
Like
But
you're
yeah,
taking medication. Isn't that funny that of all the ones we just talked about, that one, I forget where I heard, we're like, oh, you're not really supposed to say that anymore. Take a chill pill because somebody's acting too excitable or whatever. Because there's people that deal with those conditions and take medicine for it. But
take chill pills.
Take chill pill. Hey, I lie. Xanax, baby. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
no shit. I'll take a chill pill
Yeah,
all day.
for sure. Man, if off the record, because I'm just saying, in an alternate universe, Ryan, there you go. roleplay alternate universe Ryan, I think I would like Xanax. I think I would take it. If I had handlers, if I was like a celebrity or something, I think that might be my like. I think as I kind of run on mild anxiety in general. Like I run on it, I deal with it daily, but I'm not medicated. Like I just deal with it through jogging, diet, activities, but it's always on me. If that makes sense. So
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, it does. Yeah, I'm also an anxiety-ridden person.
yeah.
But I'll take a Xanax.
Oh,
Hell yeah. The next one, Stars and Scandals, maybe.
Ooh, okay. Tammy Faye Baker.
I don't remember when that was.
I think it was 86. I think it was a little bit later, 86, 87.
Okay. There was a Miss America controversy, which...
She was a man? Oh, wait.
No, I won't say who it is. I'll see if you can get it. But in September 1983, this Miss America made history by becoming the first African-American Miss America. However...
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
Vanessa Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she posed nude. So they took... Yeah, see, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've ever Googled that, of course, but...
No. So the nude photos weren't until 84, but she was crowned in 83 as the first
right.
African-American Miss America. And
boy, they were looking for something. They were just looking for something.
Yeah, oh yeah. They were taken before she was involved in the pageant.
That's what I was going to ask. If it was before or after. Okay.
So they were, and apparently they were published without her consent in Penthouse.
Oh no, that's gross.
Yeah.
Number one. That's terrible. You know, what model has it? Look, I'm not a prude in any way. If a woman wants to take a nude, or a man, of course, if people want to take nude photos of themselves, especially these professional, it wasn't smut. It was probably just like Marilyn Monroe did it. A lot of these actors and actresses do those kind of sexy shoots, especially before they're something. They're just.
She was trying to make it. Yeah. Of course.
Nude modeling is very. And the irony now is you have actors and actresses just taking off their clothes willy-nilly anyways on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And with their permission and consent. So the fact that she had hers sold to a magazine without consent is and that she gets punished for it. Isn't that amazing?
Yep. It says, despite her objections, the Miss America organization pressured her to resign.
Wow.
And she did, leading to Suzette Charles assuming the title.
How does Suzette feel? I wonder, did she go, yay, I won? Or was it kind of like, oh, cool, I guess?
Yeah.
I wonder which side she was on.
She was...
because you're a default.
It helps your career. So, I don't know. But yeah, so the incident sparked discussions on privacy, consent, and racial tensions.
It did that. It could be worse. At least it did some sort of, sometimes out of these things does come discussion to the public. So things are discussed. And I think Vanessa did okay with the rest of her life. I think she did fine. Did she?
Yeah. She's pretty
How old
famous.
is she now?
She's probably 60.
She must be.
She has a very unique look to her.
Yeah.
Because she has colored eyes, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen her in movies and stuff. Like
she's an actress.
I know who she is. She's 62. Good job. But I've enjoyed her and stuff. Is what I'm saying. I just one of those names. You're like, oh, of course. But then you're like, oh yeah, I've seen her in lots of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Done very well for you. She's fine. She's been busy in TV, theater. She's the last thing she has to worry about is not having that stupid crown.
Right. But I think that's where she got her start because of the Miss America pageant. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I knew there was a show that I saw a lot of her, and she was great in Desperate Housewives. By the way, Desperate Housewives, guilty pleasure. I don't care. My wife and I watched that series. It is such a fantastic comedy drama series. I love it, by the way.
Same. I remember it got a lot of award. That Mark Cherry, who created it, didn't, because they won a bunch of Emmys like their first year, I want to say. Yeah. And it reinvigorated a lot of those actresses' careers. Like all those actresses were kind of like, they had kind of already gone by the wayside. And then, it's great.
It's one of the few shows that we binged it on DVD, and I didn't want it to end. It was one of the few shows where I was legit, like, didn't feel burnt out. It was that good. Yeah. That's our Housewife plug. You got it here, folks.
You got Hot Take, one of the most popular shows of this time.
How dare you? How dare you say Hot Take? Sarcastically. All right.
Okay, let's do a couple more questions from Fad Flashback. Like cultural phenomenons.
Oh, okay.
Right? That were fads.
Okay.
Which fitness craze featuring high impact aerobics and neon colored workout gear exploded in popularity in 83 thanks to celebrities like Jane Fonda?
Jazzercise? Or
It's, like the answer is kind of dumb, but you're right. It's just like aerobics culture, workout culture. Like
Richard Simmons did it, and
and even like on TV, like a lot of sitcoms, they'd have episodes where the people would be in their workout gear and there'd be an episode.
the sweatbands on the wrists and stuff. Yeah.
Leg warmers. Yeah.
You want to hear the secret to losing weight, folks? And I'm not a professional. Want to hear the secret?
Is this another hot take?
Another hot take. Okay, put this on. Yeah, you should have a new hot take moments with Ryan.
Yeah,
a hot take: calorie in, calorie out. Go figure. If you store more in your body than you output, guess what happens? Any guesses?
I couldn't. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's just funny. All these years, all these fads, all these books. Is all you have to do, guys, is eat properly and do a little bit of exercise. Calorie in, calorie out. And I'm not a professional. I'm just saying that would be my advice. But
right. I mean, to your point, this is aerobics.
Sure, absolutely. That's what I mean. It doesn't matter what you call it. Jazzercise, skateboarding, biking, walking. Like all these things are good. Yeah. All right. Join us next week when we.
Oh my God. Okay. What 1983 fashion trend featured oversized, brightly colored clothing, chunky accessories, and eccentric hairstyles, becoming a symbol of youth rebellion and self-expression?
Like punk?
I don't think the descriptor here is very good. There's a certain, here's an example of it, and there's a name for what it is. Pastel colored suits, casual fashion, inspired by a certain TV show.
Yeah, Miami Vice.
Yeah, it's like, and it was called like the Miami Vice style. Like
I never. Well, to be fair, that show was huge. I love that show. I watched that show, and it was such a. I probably didn't even understand what I was watching because I was pretty young when I watched it, but it was just so cool to look at as a young boy, see the cars and the woman and the setups. And Don Johnson was just so cool, so suave. Yeah.
I am very aware of Miami Vice, but I don't know if I've seen an entire episode of it.
Well, stand by, folks. If you come join the Michael Mann season, we'll be covering the creator of Miami Vice and his film version of that on Michael Mann, Miami Vice.
Did he create the TV show?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. That's totally that's his stylings. Once you get to know him a little bit as a director, you can see how he would be the creator of that look.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
All right, there's a product phenomenon. 1983, a round piece of plastic with two handles became a craze that gripped the nation as children and adults alike challenged each other with its spinning tricks.
What? Say the description again.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of them maybe had handles, but they don't. A round piece of plastic spinning tricks.
Oh, yo-yo? No.
It was a revival of an earlier craze. What was this? No. What was the thing that what was the round piece of plastic called?
The hula hoop?
Yeah.
That's it? Oh, okay. Sorry.
It was so the answer is the hula hoop revival.
Oh, sure. I do remember doing that as a kid, and it felt so great to be able to accomplish it. It was actually legit. I remember being young and I'm doing it.
I was always good at the hula hoop.
Wow.
Yeah, but there was like challenges, I guess.
I remember skipping it. You'd use it depending on the size of the hula hoop.
Yeah.
You skip through the hole. Yeah.
Yeah, jump rope through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't recall the challenge because I was 2 at this time. But I guess in the early 80s, it was a cultural phenomenon to do like
how long you could do it for. Probably it must have been time. How long you can keep it up for? Keep it up for. That's my challenge now when I'm 50.
Okay, last one. Which personal watercraft trend gained widespread popularity, symbolizing carefree summer fun and beach culture?
Oh, what? Water gun fights or slip and slides or
personal watercraft.
Oh, jet skis?
Yeah, jet skis.
Oh, is that when they came out? Okay, well, that's fair. I guess they probably weren't 70s. Yeah, I guess they weren't a 70s thing. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Have you ever been on one?
I have not been on a jet ski. I know it's kind of wild. I assume
they're fun. They're fun. It's a weird concept. You just go out and you go fast on the water, and then you come back. You don't really go anywhere. You just literally, because it's like you usually rent them, right? So you just kind of just.
Well, and I think I confuse everybody who lives in like along the water who maybe owns them. I think I get them confused because there's Sea-Doos and jet
There's a lot of different
skis
versions
and
of them. Sure, yeah. It's
some
like saying a
you sit
motorcycle,
on,
and there's
some you
quads.
stand. Right?
Yeah,
Don't you
exactly.
stand on some? Yeah.
You can usually when I think of a jet ski, I know it says ski. I just think of the ones you do sit on. And you just
Yeah.
yeah,
Like a motorcycle.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fun.
That was
Wow, the 80s is fun. That's all.
That
This
was
all this does for
1983
me.
time capsule.
It just reminds me of how fun the 80s were. This is what this does. This is why it's so retro.
Yeah. So we've set the stage for this movie that I guarantee nobody has seen except for you and I now. So Nate, let's get into Nate and Hayes.
Uh-huh.
This movie, I was kind of surprised. I guess 83 was before there was PG-13. So it was either PG
Okay,
or R.
are we getting to that right away? Are we starting off that discussion right away? How do you want to get into that?
We'll kind of introduce people to this movie first. So it's
Sure.
rated PG and it came out November 18th, 1983. But I have thoughts about its rating. Speaking of ratings, it's a 6.1, which is higher than I would have thought for an unknown movie.
But that's a fair rating. I think it's a cult following rating.
Yep.
I would say that's a fair rating.
I agree.
I'd almost give it. It depends where you're looking at it. I know we're not quite giving a review yet, but we're talking about the rating. I would almost say it's a solid 7 if you're going in at it with what the F am I watching, but I'm having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I just ended up. I let myself go, and I was just like, because there was moments in the film, which we'll get to, of course, where I was like, I can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah.
I can't believe this happened. So those for me, I was entertained. I wasn't bored.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like zero expectation.
Yeah,
I didn't know
no trailer.
anything.
Did you watch the trailer or nothing?
No, I had no. I didn't know. And then we will get into it. But I was like, oh, it's supposed to be funny, you know?
Oh, okay. Well, let's just keep going. Yeah, hilarious.
Well, because I'm like, oh, it's like a swashbuckling, like we're set in the 1800s, like
Sure.
ships and pirates, and so I thought, oh, it's
Yeah.
going to be like more serious, but no, it's a comedy. Actually,
No, wait. Is it a comedy because that's what they thought they were making, or is it a comedy because you were laughing?
I smiled a few times. I did. There was a
Okay.
few instances where it's like, oh, that's cute, that's funny, that's witty. But the genres listed on IMDb are swashbuckler, which I didn't know was a genre.
That's a fair. That you think of Pirates of the Caribbean is a very popular example of that. So there you go.
Swashbuckler, action, adventure, comedy, and romance.
Yeah, well, sure, like
Little
romance in the
triangle.
stone. Well, a little romance in the stone-ish type romance in that setting. But let me. There's a quote here, right here. It's on the Wikipedia. One of the people involved in the film, I think it was either the writer and or director. He actually said that he was making a comedy,
Mhm.
and I'm
It's like Indiana Jones-esque.
okay, so here's the comedy. I guess we have to get into it. There's no other way to describe the comedy. There is a lot of bloodshed in this film.
Yeah,
Okay,
like a ton.
Body count, and I don't mean body count sexually kids. I'm talking about old school 80s body count. Well, we said body count back in the 80s. Oh, right here he said. The director, Ferdinand Fairfax.
Mhm.
He did some TV work. He said Fairfax described the film as a tongue-in-cheek adventure in the style of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Quote, I'm not making Carry On Pirates or anything like that, but I think it'll be a very funny film. Very funny film. It is not funny at all. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I'm getting at is when they killed, they would smirk and glee at the death the way Jason Voorhees does in Friday the 13th. Like the death count in this film, that's the only parts they laugh or jovial about is, oh, we just killed more people. It's a weird, that's the smirking. It's an odd thing. They're only funny when it comes to, watch the film again. Every time they smirk or laugh or kind of shrug their shoulders at the audience, like, it's after a kill or near kill.
Yeah, but it's like a wink and a nod to us, you know?
But okay, but
like it's supposed to be it's so outlandishly ridiculous. That's why it's funny. Like,
but it's not even that outlandish. Okay, here's an outlandish for Kill Bill, right? And this is kind of off top, but it's not. Think of the violence in Kill Bill. Now that's brutally violent, but that is over the top in the sense of, remember the scene where Lucy Liu's character runs across the table, chops off that Japanese boss's head, and the fountain of blood comes out. That's over the top. It's so crazy over the top, even though it's bloody. it's so crazy and over the top. It's obvious that it's over the, it's so obvious that it's over the top. The heads don't do that. Bodies don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
This was okay when the character Nathaniel and his beautiful bride were about to get married. This was the first time we're like, holy, where's this film going? Other than the opening sequence, which we can get to as well. But the preacher and his wife get shot in the head.
Well, it's
but I was like, Katie, it startled me.
Yeah.
I was like, their ship blown off. They're at a wedding ceremony, and they get slaughtered.
Yeah, but it is meant to be
hilarious.
a comedy, meaning like it's ridiculous. Like it's so.
I guess
it's absurd. The absurdity is the comedic element. Like, if you don't know that's what you're getting into, same. At first,
that part's true.
I didn't know what I was getting in for. And like within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, wow. So many people die. And like, even in the first scene when it's like this
crew
tribe, the woman head of the tribe, and she just like accidentally shoots some of her people. And they're like, oh, that's hilarious.
Okay, well, let's talk about. So Tommy Lee Jones' character brings guns to this. I don't know how else to say it, so I don't mean anything disparaging here, but a native tribe of this island, and of course, the people in the film, or the natives to the island, talk the like me strong, you weak, like that kind of language. Oh boy, very 80s. What else do you expect in the 80s? That kind of like the broken English from the natives. So Tommy Lee's he's going to exchange guns for money or gold or whatever it is. Give them guns for their fighting. And he's going to get gold, but she double crosses him, takes the weapons. But this is what I'm getting at. Hear me out. So his crew that we see, this is like he gets caught, and then we see the flashback story of him and his crew. So this is in the future of the film, so to speak, at the beginning of the film. And what's crazy is the crew that we see at the beginning of the film who gets slaughtered. They get slaughtered by the natives, and he's running away from. He escapes the slaughter. But Tom Lee Jones' character is laughing like he's chasing balloons in a park. But his crew just got murdered. And I had a hard time connecting. Where's this funny? I'm trying to connect the character of you. Because here's the thing. I didn't know this was a flash forward or this was going to be.
Yeah,
because
same.
We go back and we see these characters that we see at the beginning of this film. We actually get to see them with Tom Lee Jones and their relationships and their friends. So now we're seeing even more so. Well, they actually were really friends. They had a familial relationship as a crew. They were crew members.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see at the beginning of the film, those same crew are just slaughtered around Tom. Almost, oh, well, I guess I'll just get more crew and friends in my next adventure. I had a hard time connecting the humor in that, where he's laughing at his plight. People are murdered around him. He's running for his life, and it's all just fun and games.
Well, I think the other people, I don't think Tommy Lee Jones was laughing at their deaths, but he wasn't. It was clear that this wasn't like a serious
he's not laughing
movie.
That's what I mean. He wasn't laughing at their deaths, but if you were running for your life and saw your crew murdered, would you be chuckling at your plight that you're running away for your life? Is what I'm getting at.
Well, he was, it was very like romancing the stone. Oh shit. Oh, crap. I gotta,
Yeah, but so again, I went in blind like you did. So I had a hard time. That's the one thing I do agree with Roger Ebert, where it was inconsistent in the sense of I didn't know where to put my movie cap. Now I enjoyed the film and the adventures, and that's what Pirates did very well, is that they picked a lane. There is comedy and there is death, but you always see it cut. The wink is always there. With this one, it was so brutal at times where I didn't get what was funny, and there's some like brutal violence where there was no humor. I didn't get it. I didn't get why that was funny.
Being impaled.
Yeah.
And like, immediately, the first 5 minutes, like tons of people die, like in atrocious ways. Well, so okay, let's back up and then come back to this. So you brought up Ferdinand Fairfax was the director.
Okay. Yeah, what has he done?
Well, he's an English director, nominated for 2 BAFTAs. He's mostly known for like TV and TV movies. And so I don't know what Jeeves and Wooster is, but that must be a British show, or it was. And then Winston Churchill, The Wilderness Years, I think was like maybe a mini series or something. So he was nominated for BAFTAs for those. I feel like I've heard that name before, but I couldn't tell you anything else he's done.
Was that a rock band?
And then the writers on this. So I think
this is
Lloyd,
the John Hughes connection.
Yes, this is why we're covering it on Retromade Season 2, John Hughes. Lloyd Phillips, I think, was the originator of the story, this Nathan Hayes story that was then like repurposed. And he was a producer of this film too.
That's right.
And he's
Was
South
it based
African.
on a novel? Was it? No,
Yeah,
no.
he must have wrote, I don't know in what format this story was, but it was based on a story by Lloyd Phillips. And
Okay.
he's more so a producer nowadays. And he's South African. He also produced 12 Monkeys, Man of Steel, and Inglorious Bastards.
Wow. Okay. So those
That
notable projects there. for
Right,
sure.
yeah. David Odell. So then he and John Hughes kind of reworked that, created the screenplay. So David Odell,
Right.
who he won an Emmy for The Muppet Show, writing on The Muppet
Oh
Show.
wow. That's
Mhm.
the comedy.
Yeah. And he also wrote The Dark Crystal and Masters of the Universe.
Dark Crystal is one of the scariest films I ever saw as a kid in the theater, but I
I don't
loved
think
it.
I've seen it.
So he's big. Yeah, I'm looking at his writer credits. So big on the Muppets. He's a big Muppet guy.
Mhm.
Okay. And the Muppets can be pretty zany and kind of weirdly violent in their own way, but puppet violence, right? So he also wrote Masters of the Universe, Tales of the Dark Side. But the Dark Crystal is, the movie was a great movie, by the way. But
I
scary.
will have to add that to my list too. So, and then John Hughes was the other writer here.
Okay. So I
1983.
gotta ask you right away.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you right away. Where was the John Hughes in this film? You know what I mean by that? Like, where was his touch? Where was it? Or where do you think? Because I'm watching this whole film, and I want to be clear here. I'm not being critical of this film. I would watch this film again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
same.
it was a fun film. It's just I think I would have to watch it again now that I know the tone, whatever that tone is.
Yeah. You know, I think here's my take on where's the John Hughes in this. I think this is before he became the John Hughes that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's making his way, building a name. So I don't think there was like a particular touch. I think he was just, we're hiring you to do this job, to kind of rework
I could
this
see
script.
the relationship stuff probably. Obviously, the three-way triangle of the two men going for Sophie, played by Jenny Seagrove. I could see that being the case. That sort of banter talk and that sort of stuff. Because there was certainly a lot of, especially by Tommy. I would suspect John was probably part of the clever dialogue writing.
Because there's some witty stuff in
Right.
there. Yeah. There's a lot of little things said, like remarks by characters that could just be throwaway, but then you're like, oh, that was funny, or oh, that was clever, or and some of it was meant to be funny, and I didn't really think it was that funny. Like the tropes about something like throughout the movie, there are things they say about women. Oh, you can't trust a woman, even a dead one, or stuff like that.
That's probably John Hughes. And but
Maybe.
here's another good line here. Ben Pease says, "You should feel flattered, Missy. Not everyone gets offered to the gods." And then Sophie says, "Just the woman." That's a great little line there. That's
Mhm.
probably John Hughes. So those kind of lines, I think,
Good point.
yeah.
Good point. Yeah. So you guys,
I'm ruining your show. I'm going.
No. That's the way that this is going to be, because this movie, I guarantee nobody's seen it. The description is a swashbuckling adventure which takes place in the mid 1800s on the South Pacific Islands, where bloody raids and battles were once the rule of the day.
Bloody indeed.
And I gotta say, so Tommy Lee Jones is in this movie. It took me a minute. I was like, oh, that's Tommy Lee Jones? I am so not used to seeing a young, almost handsome Tommy Lee Jones. What did you
36.
think? Yeah.
He's 36 in the film. Well, I recognize. Let's say I don't know how you did, but I recognize him right away.
I mean,
thought he was
I
great.
did, but I was like, oh,
Yeah, sure.
I'm just so used to, like, he has hair and he's kind of handsome.
No, he looked great. He actually looked great. I mean, he's 36. He still looks 55. Because he looked 55 for 25 years,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was great. I mean, look, he's a good actor. And what I liked about seeing him in this film, because he does very serious roles. Of course, you think of No Country for Old Men, or a lot of his The Fugitive. He's always kind of playing a serious, authoritative kind of figure. That's his bread and butter. That's fine. Every actor kind of has their niche that they play in to play it safe. And seeing him in the early of his career, where maybe he didn't even take himself very seriously, and he wasn't like worried about how he would look or sound. It was kind of fun to watch a silly. Put it this way: the last time I saw Tommy Lee Jones be silly was in the Batman and Robin film, or
Oh, I
Batman
forgot
Forever
about that.
film, where
Yeah.
he plays Two-Face,
Mm-hmm.
and that was not very good. his character was annoying in that. Now he's a great actor, but he was annoying the way he portrayed it, and maybe that was the direction and the script combined. I get it, but what I'm getting at is seeing him here in his early career, 40 odd years ago, seeing a young, and yeah, I'd say he's a handsome Tom Lee Jones, and it was fun to see him energetic, fun, bouncing around, doing his own stunts, and he could have easily been, and we're going to talk about this, Indiana Jones. He could have easily done that. I think he could have done that role. That's how good I thought he was. I thought he was quite fun to watch, and he was the highlight for me.
Well, this was before he was able to do that, maybe, because he wasn't a big star at this time.
No, I think it was sort of an unknown. Yeah. I don't think he was like, oh, Tom Lee Jones is in that film. I got to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's the main character. He plays Captain Bully Hayes. In real life, this was a real person.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
A ship captain called William Henry, nicknamed Bully Hayes, who sailed in the South Pacific Seas during the mid-19th century until he was murdered in 1877. We'll get to some trivia about that character a little bit later. But our other characters, the second build is Michael O'Keefe, playing Nathaniel.
And he looks familiar.
Yep. The reason I know who he is because he played Fred on Roseanne, Jackie's husband.
Oh, I didn't watch that show, but he's got one of those faces where like I've seen that face before in film and TV.
He's most known, so he's Fred, and he's not an attractive man in Roseanne, but this is again, he's younger. Yeah, it's the teeth.
I don't know why. No, sorry, I'm a teeth guy. I'm sorry. We all have our thing, right? Some people like feet, some people like butts. If your teeth are jacked up, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing how if he had his teeth straight and fixed, he'd be like that much more handsome. I saw his
nice looking in this because he's young and
but his teeth were messed up,
In the 80s, I don't think everybody had perfect teeth. Like it was,
I'm a teeth guy. I love it. I love when I see teeth fixed on TV shows and stuff. I love it. Actors and actresses, when I see perfect teeth, good. Got them fixed. Looks great.
Yeah, I guess some people, I'm like, I kind of like the imperfection. As long as they're not like super jacked, like if there's like an imperfection. Tom Hardy.
Yes.
I like that he didn't get his teeth fixed.
They don't have to be told, but the fact that he comes to mind tells me something, right?
Madonna, the space between her teeth, like something.
That's fine. That's fine. Look at Jewel and Avril Lavigne with that little. I like that. That's fine. Their little pointers that they have. So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Anyways, look at me. I'm so stupid.
Well,
I just noticed it. The funny thing is, I thought he was a handsome guy too. He's a good-looking guy, but then he opens his mouth. And you're
agree.
Like, oh, okay, that's a turnoff.
I kind of don't think I think by the time he was in Roseanne, I think he must have gotten them straightened.
Okay.
Because
maybe.
I don't recall ever noticing his teeth in Roseanne. But he's in a ton of stuff. He's kind of one of those guys. Did you ever watch the show Sneaky Pete with Giovanni Ribisi?
No, but
it's good.
I heard it's good, and it's a religious show, right? So
no, it's not a religious show.
Okay, let me think of another one. I know what show you're talking about by title, but I haven't seen it. I was thinking of something. Okay, anyways, no, I haven't seen it. That's your question.
He plays a detective, Michael O'Keefe, on that show.
Okay.
And then he was also in Homeland, the Claire Danes show.
Yes, you know what? I don't know why I haven't seen that series because it falls into everything I love about TV. I just it's on my forever growing queue, and I know it's already old, sort of, but I don't care. I am gonna watch it one day.
You should. Claire Danes is just spectacular.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's lovely. Yeah.
But we talked about, or I think I did that episode solo last season. Michael O'Keefe was in 3 Wishes with Patrick Swayze.
Of course, I listened to that, but I forgot about him doing that.
He played the adult version of Tom in 3 Wishes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ben Pease, quite the character in this.
He looks familiar.
He was the slave trader, and he was like our antagonist in this movie.
Right, played by Maxwell Phipps.
Max Phipps. He's Australian.
Right.
I didn't know him from
Mad
anything.
Max, of course.
Yeah. The Road Warrior. He played the toady.
That's right. He did look familiar, and I did sort of seen that movie recently. So, yeah, he did a lot of Australian stuff, of course. He died fairly young, age 60.
Oh, really?
In 2000, yeah.
There was a miniseries, maybe this is a thing in Australia, The Dismissal. I was unfamiliar to me, but He's known for a lot of TV stuff. And
Right. Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Ben Pease. And then we talked about there being a little bit of a love triangle.
Mm-hmm.
So Nate, is supposed to be marrying Sophie. They're going to be missionaries on this island together, and they're going to get married. Sophie is played by Jenny Seagrove. Did you know her from anything, Ryan?
No, but I was enamored.
As both of these men were.
Yeah, and I can totally see why. This is where it totally makes sense. I'm watching this as a straight guy, watching this film. And of course, I'm older than her character is in this film, but I'm putting myself with these characters, these men. And I'm like, yeah, I can see why you'd be enamored. She's gorgeous.
Yes,
she's lovely,
she is.
and she nailed the role. I hate to say, sometimes that when they cast the love interest in these, especially these earlier films, the women are sometimes
like throwaway
or written poorly. Or she was great. She acted tough. She was resilient. She was funny. Even when she was about to be sacrificed, it wasn't over the top, a la Kate Capshaw and Temple Doom.
Everyone hates her.
Can we talk about Temple Doom for a second? Because I'm a huge Temple Doom fan. So there's two scenes in this film. Yep. One in particular where I was like, which one came out first?
Well,
the answer. I know the answer.
Okay.
So I'm sure most of your listeners have seen Temple of Doom. And Temple of Doom has one of the best scenes in movie history, which I love. And now I'm feeling a little bit angry.
That they took it from this movie.
They took it from I couldn't believe it. So Tom Lee Jones at the beginning of this film has a bridge scene where he's being trapped by the locals, I'll say that, of the island. He escapes them, folks, by cutting the bridge, and he flies down with the bridge. This film was finished production when Temple Doom went into production by the same movie company. And Indiana Jones does the exact same stunt or sequence in that film. Now, it's done very well, and Harrison Ford looks amazing. It's the best Harrison Ford's ever looked on film, is that sequence on the bridge. He is just the manliest man. It's peak man. Is that Harrison Ford on that bridge is peak man. I can't help it. I'm like, again, I'm a straight guy, but every time I see him on that bridge, you can't help it. Oh, man, that is peak manhood. Anyways, that sequence by the same film company, Katie, they took it from Savage Islands. Or sorry, this was originally called Savage Islands, from Nate and Hayes.
Nate and Hayes, for the American audience, it's called Nate and Hayes, but it was made in New Zealand, like it's a New Zealand company. And we'll talk a little bit more about that because Paramount let it go because it was so similar to the original Indiana Jones that they didn't.
They had a feel, but it's like saying Star Trek and Star Wars are similar. Like, it's silly that they did that with poor Savage Islands because they just dumped it, and this is why no one knows about this film. Yep. They dumped it. It's like saying Romancing the Stone is too much. That was the flavor of those years. So it's not fair.
I know.
That was the flavor in these early 80s films. The kind of Crocodile Dundee. There's a lot of examples of this swashbuckling in the jungle, whatever type adventures. And honestly, I think they dumped it to steal some of the ideas. With the woman in peril, the sacrifice of the woman at the end. Again, there's the same Kate Capshaw was about to be sacrificed. Yep. All these adventures. Savage Islands is pre-Temple Doom. I think they stole this film. It breaks my heart to say this.
Well, I don't know Indiana Jones as well as you do. I forget what happened in which movie. So what was the original one? Raiders of the Lost Ark? Was that the original?
Yeah, it came out in 81, I think. Don't quote me on that, folks.
Yeah,
early 80s.
I think some of the criticism that this movie got was that it was it is in the same tone, like it's a style of movie, but
that's the irony.
Yeah,
is Temple Doom came out after this, so the irony is Temple Doom is this movie. So this movie didn't rip off Temple Doom; it's the other way around.
Sure, no, Raiders.
I understand that, but there's the irony is it's nothing like Raiders. It's nothing at all like Raiders. It's more like Temple. I think they buried this movie to make that narrative when it's not true. Mm-hmm. It's not like Raiders at all.
Well, I mean, just the general adventure.
Swashbuckling. Sure, but that's the whole point. Swashbuckling movies have always existed. Yeah. Raiders is a ripoff of other films before its time.
Very true. But
I'm actually defending this film, and I love Temple Doom. Don't get me wrong.
So it being in New Zealand. So I'll get into that now, actually. So the budget for this was $12 million. That's 7.5 New Zealand dollars. Now, it only grossed $2 million worldwide. And I have some information. So whilst it is true that this film was not a box office success, it may be unfair to blame the public completely for not going to the movie, right?
That's what I mean.
Paramount Studios had agreed to bankroll this medium budget project, which was being filmed in New Zealand. When the studio were presented with the final cut in the summer of 83, they were concerned at some of the stylistic similarities with Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981.
That's a cop-out. I guarantee you, look at me, conspiracy hat on. I don't care. This is why we do these shows. They knew Temple Doom was coming. They wanted to borrow from this film. That's what I'm getting at. There's no similarities with. It's a different timepiece. It's ocean, water, islands. All that stuff takes place in Temple Doom. Not Raiders was in the desert looking for a lost ark with the Nazis.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
it says it says so that was a huge hit, right? Indiana Jones,
Of
like
course,
the
of
original.
course.
Okay, so then during the summer of 1983, Steven Spielberg was already in pre-production with Raiders' sequel, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that came out in 1984. So they were assuming this is going to be a tentpole summer release for 84.
Oh yeah.
So not wanting to have two old-fashioned swashbuckling adventure films released within a year of each other for fear of affecting the advertising, publicity, and box office potential of the Spielberg film. So they knew that was probably going to be a success, so they didn't want to take away from that. And remember that Harrison Ford, hugely popular star by this point, whereas Tommy Lee Jones was practically unknown at this time. Paramount decided to cut their losses and give this film only a small, relatively publicity-free release.
Oh, you're driving me crazy.
Just
it's
to meet
feeding into my conspiracy.
contractual like they had to, because their
Yeah.
contracts said they had to. So it was released in the fall of 83, where it would go unnoticed, sandwiched between the likes of James Bond film Never Say Never Again, 1983, and the Clint Eastwood thriller Sudden Impact, also 1983. The Indiana Jones film was subsequently released just over half a year later, where it was, unsurprisingly, a huge hit, earning back more than 10 times its budget.
And guess what happened? Nobody said, "Hey, I saw this on Savage Islands." That's my point. They were able to release this film, steal the bridge idea and the virgin sacrifice idea and all that swashbuckling adventure that we've seen Temple of Doom. Then there's no one crying foul that this already happened in that unknown Tom Lee Jones film. That was actually kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I think what happened was Steven probably said, "You know what? I kind of like what they're doing here. I want to do it. I want to do it better. Bury this film. Done. Period." I'm sorry. It's so convenient that they're like, "Oh, we don't want." Why would they even consider that Steven would be in some sort of trouble with this film? See, the guy was freaking Steven Spielberg in the 80s. E.T. This. We don't want Nathan Hayes to take away the box office of Indy. No, they didn't want this film to do exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People say, "Hey, we just saw this a year ago."
Yeah. I think you're right on the money.
Breaks my heart to say it though. That's all I'm saying, because I love Temple Doom. But
know.
now I'm like, oh, because again, I went to this movie blind, and the first thing I did, Katie, when I saw the bridge sequence, the first thing I did was pause the film and double check the release date. And there you go. On the trivia was the very thing that you just read. I'm like, yes, Temple Doom. And so I'm like, oh, isn't that convenient? Both by the same movie company. And all my brain went together like Occam's razor. Why did this happen? Well, the easiest explanation is they didn't want their tentpole movie, yes, rightfully so, to be accused of plagiarism.
The other thing, I got a lot of vibes. One of my favorite movies is Romancing the Stone,
Of course.
which came out in 85 maybe? And there was a lot of similarities from this movie in Romancing the
84.
Stone too. Okay, so
Both came out the same year. So they were in production
Temple
at
of
the same
Doom
time.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting, because this did come out first. I wonder why though, because it's known as Savage Islands in New Zealand. So it's basically released only in New Zealand and the US.
Yeah, dude, on the other side of the world, quiet, those New Zealanders don't have, they're not going to tell anyone in the U.S. about this, and they didn't. Like, we're only knowing about this now. Like, it worked.
Yeah.
This was buried.
But why did they change the name for the U.S. audience? Savage Islands is better, I think.
Maybe even because, I think it's even maybe them for political correctness to say savage. I think it was savage wasn't used. It could be confused with, because you don't say that about the inhabitants anymore. And even though it might just mean the term, oh, it's brutal. It's a brutal island. I think when they titled it savage, I think they're referring to the people, honestly, because this whole movie was based on the people that lived there and what they did.
Well, what was the guy's name, or the island they go with the king, Panape? They're like, oh, it has a reputation for being really, they are brutal people. They eat they eat humans,
Yeah.
and there's some scenes where like those people are shown to lick their lips when they bring in the new people, like they're getting like salivating to eat them or something.
Again, Temple Doom, that
Yeah,
creepiness. It's
yeah.
all there. It's insane. And again, it breaks my heart because Temple Doom is actually my favorite indie film. And now this movie, Katie, shame on you. This movie has actually tarnished my fandom of Temple just a little bit, knowing that this is probably what happened.
There's so much from it. Temple of Doom's my favorite Indiana Jones movie too. Now that I'm thinking through, and I loved all those tropes. Isn't that the one where they eat like monkey brains and stuff? Yeah.
And you know what I wish they'd done? I wish they put Kate Capsule in this film and put Jenny Seagrove in the indie film. Then you would have a perfect film.
Yeah, so
Kate Capsule is one of the most annoying characters. Like, I get it. Steven married her later. Yeah, I understand she had big. She was very healthy. And I think
she was. Well, so that's why she was in it, because were they dating or something?
Yes. So they got married either during the filming or after it, but they fell in love. I think it was during the filming of it.
Oh,
I get it.
So that's not why she was in it then. I thought
yeah, good question. I think they met on the set. Okay, I could be wrong.
Yeah, so there's a few other characters in this movie that you won't know their names because
they met on the set. There you go.
Did they? Okay.
And they married in 91.
And then when did they get divorced?
Oh, are they divorced now?
I assume so. I guess maybe not.
No, they've been married since 91.
Really? Well, good for them. Look at that.
Them, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
the rest of the cast on Nathan Hayes, aka Savage Island. It's just Nathan Hayes isn't very descriptive. I don't know. It just
no. I like. Don't get me wrong. I like Savage Island.
Yeah,
dude. That's a great title. Sorry. Yes, Nathan Hayes sounds like a.
You don't know what it is.
It sounds like a gay love story. I thought we're gonna do. Honestly, I thought, oh, this is gonna be some sort of like independent art film about Nathan Hayes. They're both married men or whatever, but they have a little tryst in the summer. I honestly had no idea what this film. Just by the title alone.
Same. The title gives you no indication what kind of movie it is. But getting back to Jenny Seagrove.
Yeah, please.
She's English, and she's known for a TV miniseries called A Woman of Substance. But that's about it. And then everybody else is either New Zealand actor, Australian actor, New Zealand actor.
Right, and then one American actor.
And so Mr. Blake is another character. He's played by Bruce Allpress. Grant Tilley plays Count von Rittenberg. That was kind of a fun character, this German count, and they kept saying, this is like the president. I'm a count. Oh, admiral. And he's like, it's count. Whatever. I actually thought that was kind of funny. Like, whatever.
He was the one that fought Tommy Lee at the very end. His character. They had the big fight on the ship.
Yeah.
Is that the one we're talking about? Yeah. He's the older gentleman. He's kind of short.
Short. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting that, I mean, it's just weird that was the final fight for Tommy Lee Jones' character, where he had a hard time with that older, portly gentleman. That's the only thing that was weird about that. Like, the guy handled himself in a sword fight. Maybe he was just a good warrior back in the day, and he had one last hurrah before he got killed.
Then Louis Beck was the auctioneer, and then the king of Panape was quite the character. Yes. The big, like super fat.
He was like a Samoan Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. So he's like. He's the one that they offer up Sophie as sacrifice as an offering to this king. Yeah, and he's played by a man named Prince Tui Teka. Like, that's this person's name. And he was a Maori singer and actor. That's who that man was. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All fun. Again, every character was fun and colorful. This is, again, a fun film. But it is not for kids, I don't think. Would you say an 8-year-old should watch this film, for example, or a 9-year-old?
No, but again, this is before. Well, so in America, we're fine with violence as long as you don't show boobs.
There's no boobs. I would have been fine if Jenny had a disrobing scene.
So it's just like in America, we're like, violence is fine.
Violence is fine. Yeah.
Because PG-13 did not yet exist in 1983.
I guess not. Yeah, this is a weird. I don't know what you'd rate this today. Probably 14.
It would be PG-13, probably.
PG-13 or whatever you guys have. I think we call it 14A in Canada, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I actually think like the violence. Now, granted, I think the tone of the violence is partially why it's not meant to be taken so seriously.
Okay,
but there's
but there was times that there were it was just violence. Again, I love violence. I love a violent film because it has nothing to do with that. But I didn't know where to put when you watch a film, again, a Quentin Tarantino film, you kind of know where to put your brain. Okay, we're doing Tarantino. We know it's going to go somewhere. Like I'm prepared. It's going here. With this film, it's like, oh, we went there. Like they just shot those two old people in the head at a wedding. Like, wow, hilarious.
Speaking of those people, what was that character's name? The guy with the glasses on the island. What was that dude's name? Moaka was the character's name. He comes running to tell them that Nate and Sophie are there. And turns out it's the Reverend and his wife, and that's the aunt and uncle of Nate. And they're coming to, they're going to get married and they're going to be missionaries on this island. And he comes to tell them that they're there, and he calls them Big Man God, Mama Jesus Christ. Like there were little things like that were so funny. And they're like, don't call us that. It's like blasphemous or something.
And what's even funnier, that same character we thought we'd see throughout the film gets brutally murdered in the opening segment of the film. He gets shot in the back.
Moaka?
He gets his back blown out.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
I'm like, oh,
funny
okay, you're dead. That's that's the thing. So it's interesting they kind of provided these interesting and memorable characters just to have them later have their heads blown off. It's like,
whatever happened to, did Ratbag die? I thought he was kind of a fun character too. Also, just the name Ratbag. He was like this the smaller. He was part of Tommy Lee Jones' crew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So because we see the beginning of the film, him and his number two, Tommy Lee Jones' character's number two guy, played by.
Is it Mr. Blake?
Yeah, I think that's him. You know what famous scene he had? This is like totally nerding out here. He had the famous scene in The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, where he was on the wall of the Battle of Helm's Deep. He's a character named Eldor. And I was like, really? That's him? A very small role. Mm-hmm. I think his arrow goes off accidentally or something like that. Anyways, that's him. Again, New Zealand makes sense.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand. Yep. But that being said, so Mr. Blake and Ratbag, we never see their deaths, but the gates close on them as they're surrounded by the savages.
That's right.
Surround these two characters. And we see Tommy Lee Jones chuckling as he runs away as his number two person, the person he worked with and was his like co-captain, so to speak, and friend.
Yeah.
He's about to be, probably eaten or skewered, and he's just running away kind of chuckling. That's what I mean. Like that's what even makes it more weird is we see the backstory of how close they were, and Tommy Lee Jones made no indication that he was going to rescue them, that he cared about them. He just chuckled as he's running away.
Yeah. There's like three people that matter in this movie. Nate, Bully. This should have been called Nate and Bully because they call him Bully the whole time. They never call him Hayes.
That's what's weird. Yeah, that's his last name, and Nathaniel's his first name. So they got one character's name in the title is the first name, and the other character is their last name. So this should have been Bully and Nate.
Yeah.
Or Williamson and Hayes.
Yeah. Or Savage Islands.
Or Savage Islands.
Yeah.
Or Sophie, Nate, and Hayes. Anyways.
So
Two Men and a Lady.
The music was very Indiana Jones-esque as well. Didn't you think? Yeah. The music in this?
Yes, and guess who's a very famous composer?
Yeah, Trevor Jones. And what what else did he compose, Ryan?
The Last Mohicans.
Yeah, which we covered on the network, the Director's Chair Network.
And that's fantastic. Yeah, we did for the Ed Zwick season.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, for the Michael Mann season.
Michael Mann.
And that's fantastic because I saw that. I'm like, wow, early for him. He had done just before that, just 5 films. So it's fairly early in his career. And though that we know that he's going to create one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, The Last Mohicans, where he was nominated for Golden Globes and all the good stuff. But yeah,
he also did Cliffhanger. And some funny, like some other movies that kind of more in this theme or tone, Labyrinth.
Sure.
And Arachnophobia.
Right, yeah.
But then on the exact opposite end of that spectrum, Mississippi Burning. Similar to like Last Mohicans.
Feel good movie of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I would need to give it a rewatch because like I literally had no idea what I was getting myself in for. And then I really did enjoy the way they did the setup though. Like the first 5 minutes of the movie is Tommy Lee Jones is like a gun runner and he escapes death. But just when you think he gets away, he meets someone who's clearly like a frenemy or something. When he meets Pease, we're like, oh, he clearly knows him, and it's like they're like on friendly terms, but they also hate each other. And he's arrested and put in jail. And for some reason, a biographer or something is put in his cell with him to write a story.
Well, that's the idea, because he's a real person, right? So you could argue, if they're taking the real angle, this was a real person that is in history, that you have a historian saying, okay, well, here you are about to be hung for your crimes. Tell me about your life. Tell me about your story. And Tommy Lee Jones goes into the old, well, the reason why I ended up here today is, here we go. And then we see, again, the crew that he has all these life and adventures with that we just saw killed. That's what I took this not literally, but I was really watching this. Oh, we're seeing those characters that we just saw slaughtered, because I didn't think we'd ever see them again.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see these characters that we just saw killed and or captured. Now we're seeing their life and adventure together. It's weird. So when you rewatch the film, rewatch the beginning, I'm almost curious to do it now. Now that we know the characters and what happens to them, where he's so blasé about it.
Blasé, that's a good word for it. But because it took me a minute to realize that things were supposed to be funny, because no idea what I was getting in for. And we see these guys going through the rainforest.
Right.
And there's a snake. So it's sort of like the anti-Indiana Jones almost. Like, because he's like, oh, we afraid of a snake? And he just picks it up and throws it. He doesn't kill it or anything. But then Rat Bag, he goes and kills it, puts it in his bag. And he's like, oh, I'm going to make a nice little bag later or something.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like little things like that I was like, wait, okay, is this supposed to be funny?
The way Indiana Jones is funny, that kind of humor. It's not a comedy, but there's like the wink at the camera, the smirk.
Definitely. And when Nate's character, so there's confusion. So this Pease comes to the island, shoots like immediately, disrupts the wedding. And you see it happening because there's cuts back and forth between. And so it's like very clear that they come. And I was not expecting for the immediate carnage. And I was like, shit.
Disrupt the wedding. Yeah, that is a wedding crasher. You're literally murdering
and then everyone. They start putting like chains and shackles around the islanders, and it's like, oh, he is stealing them.
Oh yeah, there's a byline, or there's a subplot throughout the film about slavery. It's an anti-slavery message throughout the film.
Well, he's the slave trader, Pease, Ben Pease. And then there's a point where they go to an auction. They're clearly selling people, but he's trying to get on the good side of this German count. And he's like, any decent country has outlawed slavery by now. What are you doing? He's no. They're not slaves. They're contract workers or something like that. And then the whorehouse scene, it was a bit all over the place, but it was, once I realized that I was
no scene is boring though. No scene is boring. Like every setup is kind of fun. It doesn't quite make sense in the way things segue to each other, the way the fast traveling that the characters do. There's a lot of, I can see why it has a cult. This is a movie that has a cult following. These are the type of movies that have the cult following, because when you kind of let yourself just enjoy the film, there's a lot to enjoy. But it's not, objectively, it's not a good film in that you're like, oh, this is well put together. This all makes sense. The tone fits. It is discombobulated, but it's crazy fun. It's, I don't know how to explain it. I'm glad I got to see this, and I really want to recommend to everyone. And I rented this on YouTube. How did you watch it?
I got it from my library.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I wish the YouTube didn't have captions. That's the only thing that bugged me. So some of the accents are a little bit tough.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate subtitles for those types of things. But did you watch those subtitles?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, darn it. Okay. Yeah, I know. So I rented it from YouTube, and I went to this closed caption. It was grayed out. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
But, I hate that because I'm same. But yeah, I think another rewatch, because once I realized I was just supposed to go with it and watch and listen for the humor and just some of the quips. And again, I think it's, when I say funny or humor, it's the absurdity of it all.
Absurd is that's a better word. It's absurd.
It's absurd. Heads rolling out of barrels.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. Yes, we have a basket full of heads,
and that's not enough for this King Panape or whatever his name was. I want more. And then they're like, all right, well, we're going to sacrifice this woman. And I will say that the entrance into that island when they go to the Panape place was really cool. The way there's like a boat garage and then this, I don't even know how you describe the contraption.
And stuff.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, I was saying to myself, this is where that millions went. They didn't. Yeah, it's not cheaply done. Like the ship that they're on.
Elaborate.
They had that warship at the end. I was like, I don't know how they built it, where they got that thing from. The warship that they built. I think it was just a fake warship because it's kind of small. It wasn't very big. But it's like they didn't cheap out on the movie, and it's disappointing that it failed because I think it deserves a bigger audience. And we can blame Paramount for burying this film. Like at the end of the day, this film was buried. It could have been easily I don't think it would have blown up at the box office, but I think they could have made their money back.
For sure. It was also really beautiful. I mean, obviously,
islands,
like Fiji and New Zealand.
Yeah. Have you been there before?
I have not. Have you?
Yeah.
Both New Zealand and Fiji?
Yes.
Wow.
My sailing, when you sail, you get to go to these places.
Did you sail on a ship like they had?
yeah, the little battleship, almost.
Another funny thing is there's all this carnage on the island. Nate then goes out on this rickety raft just out in the ocean. I was like, where did he think he was going to somehow save Sophie on this rickety raft?
Yeah.
Then of course he hits like a tiny little rock.
And he set it in the middle of some low enough tide. Either that was a very high seamount or very, very low tide where he should have just walked back to the land. But the idea is he's on this, it's called a seamount, but it's poking out of the water because the tide was low enough that he was able to wave to the ship. Anyways, yeah. Well, again, I try not to make sense of it.
Yeah,
it just is what it is.
It's but his raft sinks and now he's stuck on this rock. Like there was no land anywhere.
It's called the seamount.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for.
If you're going to correct me on my Footloose timeline, I'm going to correct you on this.
So he's stuck on the seamount, but it's in the middle of the ocean. Like there's no land near. And then he sees the ship. So he's like, sweet, he can save me. And one of Bully's, I think it was even Ratbag. He's like, from their vantage point, it looks like he's walking on water.
Yes.
He's like, oh, it's like Jesus. He's walking on water.
Yeah. Those are funny moments. Granted, those are the funny moments. Look, the movie is funny. I get those moments were funny. The parts that just threw me off was when every time they were in a battle, it was always a smirk and a kind of shrug of the shoulders as they killed. There was this weird, it's okay to kill. If you're in a battle, you're in a fight, you're going to kill people. But there was always kind of, I just chopped his head off. Or, I just, it's always like they stumbled upon the action, if that makes sense. And they're just like, Yeah.
A lot of these movies kind of follows a similar vein. What did you think about the love triangle in that immediately we see Sophie betray her fiance and she's like super into Bully like right away?
Oh yeah, she's hot for Bully, and he's I don't know. I guess the way he looked at it was like he's going to be leaving on the ship, and I'm moving to the island, and I'll let her have this fun. And I guess to his credit, he was not the jealous type. He kind of let his fiance flirt, I guess.
He was very clearly jealous, but then...
Oh, sure, I would be too.
Yeah.
That's my fiance.
But then
buddy.
She writes Bully a letter that Nate finds, and but he actually gives Bully the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when they have a conversation about who gets her. I know they both want her, and now they're like, no, you can have her. No, you can have her. Hey, maybe we should let her decide.
Well, and that was actually, that's what I was going to say. To their credit, they acknowledge that, well, at the end of the day, it'll be her decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do like that she ended up with Nate. I think that was nice that she got to have a little fun fantasy like with Bully, but at the end of the day, she chose the more stable relationship, which I actually appreciated.
I wasn't sure. I kind of had a feeling. But what was cool is that obviously, like via these adventures, they all grew close. Yes, and just as Bully is about to be hanged, we see the Reverend is now right. Nate, and Sophie's now part of the action. And they save him. There's just action
Spoiler,
on
by
action.
the way, spoiler.
Yeah, he doesn't get hung.
You know what's funny is I watched the Siskel and Ebert review of this on YouTube. They showed that scene for their movie clip on. That's the ending of the movie. They spoiled the movie.
Interesting.
I know. That's a big. I didn't know that reveal was coming. Did you?
No.
Yeah, that's a fun reveal that the Reverend. The spoiler, folks. But I'm just saying because it was a fun spoiler. So I'm just saying
it was
that. Yeah, when the Reverend who's going to hang Bully is now Nate, and that's how. Because I was wondering how is he going to get out of it. I was legit. I don't know how he's going to get out of this. So I thought it was clever. And of course, Nate and Sophie are they're religious missionaries, but they're kind of like that swashbuckling. They're gunfighters, gunslingers. I thought that was great. You could almost have a sequel of these three, and this could
have been Indiana Jones.
This could have been another
a trilogy.
Yeah, well, Romance of the Stone got a sequel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's too bad. This kind of got it's too bad it got sidelined.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was a fun movie. I also would recommend it. They did soften the character. So in real life,
of course,
there was in 1970 a biography about him called Captain Bully Hayes, Blackbirder and Bigamist. Frank Clune stated that the real William Henry Hayes was often described as a rogue, villain, cheat, swindler, barrator, buccaneer, biker, bigamist, freebooter, polygamist, seducer, murderer, pirate, slave trader, robber, rapist, hooligan, and bully, but was never convicted in any civil court of law for any serious criminal offense.
Well, so he's fine.
Yeah.
He's the P. Diddy of his time. He's fine. He's innocent.
And
guilty.
They were partners in real life. The enemies in the movie, Ben Pease, and Bully. But in real life, those two characters were both like the shitty Ben Pease character in real life.
Right.
So they softened it for this movie. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So it's not a legit history.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know. I liked seeing a young Tommy Lee Jones, and I love Romancing the Stone, and it felt like kind of similar to that. It's not perfect, but
it's not perfect, but that's why I give it a 7.
Yeah, that's a good. So what are your closing thoughts on?
Okay, my closing thoughts are we've spoiled a lot, but because there's so much in it and it's such an adventure, it's like us telling you that a Thanksgiving dinner and all the ingredients and how we enjoyed it and what we got for dessert. I would still recommend you come join the meal too. So watch this movie. It's a fun adventure, and I'd be curious what other people think of it. I've never heard of this film before. In fact, when you gave me just a reminder we're doing this in a couple weeks, which I appreciated. Thank you, by the way. I was like, oh yeah, Nate, hey, I'm doing that film. And I just put it on YouTube rentals. I was like, oh, it looks like he's wearing a pirate outfit or something. So I'm like, okay, it's not a gay love story. Or it could have been, I guess. But the point is, I honestly thought it was going to be like a coming of age drama.
Me too. No, that's kind of what I thought too.
But it's at the end of the day, I don't like rating things, but it's a fun film. It's not a perfect film. It's a weird film, but that's what makes it a fun film because it's so not anything you would see today, something that belongs in the 80s, but in a good way. It is an 80s film, which I love. So it fits in the 80s.
I like that. Yeah. I like it. Well,
it's a retro film through and through
because
the dialogue, some of the language, the tropes, it's all 80s. There's so much that was done in this film that would not be done today, which I love. Which I love.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's what we do here on Retromade. We do stuff from the 80s and the 90s. So you guys watch Nate and Hayes, report back. What did you think? But for our discussion on Retromade, that is it for Nate and Hayes. It's a wild ride, pirates, comedic adventure, and unexpected Tommy Lee Jones energy. And if this episode scratched your adventure itch, please follow the show, leave a review, or send me a message. And until next time, be kind, rewind,